Good afternoon. You know, it's a beautiful day. The sun's out. You know, we've had a lot of, I know, where's Mr. Mobley? We've had some rough days over the last month or so. So it's nice to see the sun in the sky, isn't it, sir? Instead of snow on the ground. I want to welcome everybody here today. My name is Barry Hudson. I'm the manager of communications for the County Executive's Office. And we want to welcome you to the fifth floor and certainly to our presentation of the 2015 proposed budget for the County Executive. This year's budget, as he will tell you, was one that we spent a lot of time working on. Many of the ones in the room here played a role in that developing that budget. And the county executive is here today to tell you, after all the discussions and collaboration and teamwork, what we did ultimately come out with. So I believe he is on his way. Almost. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you the County Executive of Prince George's County, Rushern L. Baker III.
Thank you. Barry's always dramatic. How's everyone doing this afternoon? Good. I'm glad that you have joined us for this budget presentation. It's interesting. We have been talking all day and talking about the fact that this is the fourth time I presented the budget. And it's interesting. It's hard to believe it's been 4 years. And when I think back to the first one in 2012, and the obstacles we had to overcome then, I remember thinking back there, and I was so scared when I did the budget, thinking, how are we going to get through this? And the thing that helped, and I think it's helped us, is that I had a group of very talented individuals that were willing to give of their time and talent to this county. And they all, whether they stayed here or left, there was always one common denominator, and that was their commitment to this county. So as we go into the last budget of this term, I would like to take this opportunity to thank those individuals who worked to make Prince George's County better. My first CAO, Mike Errico, Douglas Brown, Carla Reed, Glenda Wilson, Betty Francis, Aubrey Thacker, Barry Stanton, and David Iannucci. And the last person, our current CAO, Brad Seaman. If we can give them a round of applause, please. I also want to thank each and every department head and the nearly 6,000 employees of this government. I want to thank you for every day striving to make this county better and striving for excellence. And to the council, Ingrid, I'm glad that you're here. Please, I want to thank you and your colleagues for your partnership, and I look forward to continuing to partner with you, not only in this budget, but working through important issues as we move this county forward. And if we can give the council a round of applause, that'd be great. This budget is no different than the other. Our focal point of the budget has always been the people of this great county. It has been an honor and truly a privilege for me to serve the people of this county, and I want to thank them for giving me this opportunity. I don't take that lightly. So as we present the budget, I can't help but reflect that we are transforming Prince George's County. And we're doing it together. We are quickly becoming the place to be in the region, and as I like to say a lot, I dare say the state. We have made our communities and our neighborhoods safer over these last 3 years by reducing homicide rates. Over the last 3 years, our homicide rates have dropped by almost 38% since we've taken office. Overall crime is down 26% since we've taken office. These historic lows would not be possible without collaboration, hard work, and the partnership between the police department, our corrections department, our sheriff's department, our state's attorney's office, as well as our federal and state partners. We have continued to work on growing our economy and expanding the commercial tax base. And that work has created some unprecedented development projects. We can look forward to almost $4 billion worth of development in the next several years in Prince George's County. And if we do it right, it'd be really great to make an announcement that the new FBI headquarters is coming right here to Prince George's County. We've also strengthened our government operations. We created new government agencies. We made government more accountable. We focus on transforming neighborhoods and restructuring our education system. Our flagship program, the Transforming Neighborhoods Initiative, or as we call it, T&I, is an example of the way this administration is strengthening our communities and improving service to residents. T&I was developed to improve 6 targeted areas by focusing on reducing crime, removing blight, attracting jobs, improving healthcare options, and delivering effective human services, and enhancing our educational outcomes. T&I has become an asset to breaking down silos between departments and improving intergovernment communications. But more importantly, or most importantly, it is improving the quality of life for the people who live in these areas. Whether it is creating initiatives or developing the county's budget, we have approached them using data and information to shape our decisions. This is how we have developed our budget for the past 3 years. We have envisioned where we want to be, and we have focused our resources in those areas to achieve the best results. I want to thank Tom Himmler, our Deputy CAO for Budget, Finance, and Administration, and Terry Bacote-Charles, our Director of Management and Budget, who guided us through this process of identifying creative ways to balance the budget. So if we can give them a round of applause, I'd appreciate it. And as many of the directors know, and our deputy CAOs know, we employed a new approach this year to the budget process to continue to break down silos by putting each department into clusters. Each cluster was asked to set budget priorities together that had never been done before. The departments were grouped based on their core mission. So we had clusters such as public safety, economic development, health and human services, and government operations. They came up with new ways of reducing costs and suggestions on how we can raise revenues. By using this approach, it helped us overcome a $111 million revenue gap, and it helped us to balance our budget. A budget that I am confident will keep us moving in the right direction. Let me be frank. We had to make some very tough budgetary decisions, but we were guided throughout the process by our seven budget priorities: a thriving economy, an excellent education system, safe neighborhoods, quality health care, effective human services, a clean and sustainable environment, and a high-performance government operations. And so now, I would like to share with you the proposed budget for fiscal year 2015. The 2015 budget for all operating funds is $3.4 billion. This represents an increase of $143 million, or 4% over last year's budget. The general fund revenue picture in fiscal year 2015 is largely framed by two different things. On the one hand, we had a national and regional economy that is still sluggish. And on the other, we saw a real estate market in Prince George's County begin to improve. So in fiscal year 2015, forecast represents an increase in the general fund of $137 million over fiscal year 2014. This is primarily driven by the increase in outside aid and an increase in taxes directly related to the housing market. The proposed fiscal year 2015 general fund budget includes $1.6 billion in county sources and $1.3 billion in outside aid. So now let me share with you some of the highlights of the budget that we're proposing or sending to the council. In the economy, I've often talked about in this administration our commitment to growing our commercial tax base and how important that is to the success of the county. As of February 2014, the county has awarded $9 million in EDI funding for 12 projects. This investment is estimated to retain or create 1,600 jobs in the county. In addition, EDI funding has leverage over $1 million in state economic development funds and approximately $102 million in private investment in the county. So the proposed fiscal year 2015 budget includes $13 million in funds to the EDI to continue investing in our economy. Our Economic Development Corporation and our Financial Services Corporation will continue to use the EDI fund along with available financial incentives to retain and attract businesses to Prince George's County. Another important element to helping to grow our economy is efficient permitting process and inspections. And we're doing that through our one-stop shop. We created the Department of Permitting, Inspection, and Enforcement, or as we like to refer to it, DPI. In order to help this new office or new agency carry out its mission, we are proposing in the budget in 2015 to fill critical vacancies in that office and identify information technology solutions to support this very important function. The budget also includes $6 million from the Maryland Attorney General's National Mortgage Settlement Fund, which will provide to Prince George's County funding for financial literacy and housing counseling services in the county, the ability to acquire and rehabilitate foreclosed homes, provide funding for down payments for closing cost assistance to home buyers. I don't know if the Attorney General is here. Douglas Ganser, if you can stand, give him a round of applause. Thank you for your help, and thank you for the money. Like previous years, the 2015 budget focuses on investments that will help us achieve our strategic priorities. None more important than education. The 2015 budget continues to support our goal of expanding an excellent education system and calls for a $1.8 billion in funding to the Board of Education. This increase represents $107 million, or 6%, over fiscal year 2014's budget. Funding for the board constitutes 63% of the general fund spend in this budget. The county's contribution represents an increase of $6.5 million over fiscal year 2014, which exceeds, once again, for the third year in a row, our maintenance of efforts requirement, and it's by over $2 million. It exceeds that. This funding will support student achievements by addressing class sizes, as well as expanding and/or enhancing effective programs, proven programs like all-day pre-K, secondary school reform, talented and gifted programs, as well as Montessori and various other immersion programs. It will also allow for the restoration of services to support students and families, such as the parent liaison, the reading specialist, nurses, and guidance counselors. When we looked at the education budget, a lot of it was based on not just meeting with Dr. Maxwell, who's doing a tremendous job, but also going around and visiting schools and talking to parents and teachers. This budget also addresses, or starts to address, some of the needs by investing in our aging school system, school buildings, and calls for an investment of $100 million in the county's capital fund to support projects such as the continued construction of the new Fairmont Heights High School, Eugene Burroughs Middle School renovations, and the renovations at Glenarm Woods Elementary School. In the area of higher education, I am proposing $104 million in operating budget for the Prince George's Community College. This budget will support an additional 23 full-time teachers or faculty and 45 part-time positions to support the core service and improve the faculty-student ratio. In addition, our CIP budget will include funding for the planning and design of the renovation of the Queen Anne's Academic Center, a feasibility study for the Southern Region campus, and the construction of a new culinary arts center at the University Town Center. The other part of our education system is our library. And this year's budget is funding our memorial library system in the amount of $27 million. The budget will also expand the number of branches in our library system that have Sunday hours. It will expand it from 3 branches to 7 branches in fiscal year 2015. These 4 new branch locations will include the new Carrollton branch, Fairmont Heights, Hillcrest Heights, and Spalding. Now, in full disclosure, that request was by my daughter, who said she wanted the Sunday hours expanded. No, but it is very important. It's a critical part of our education system. In fiscal year 2015, the CIP will support the construction of the new Laurel Library, a new Hyattsville branch, the planning and design of the renovation of the Surratts and Clinton branch, and the funding for the construction of the new Carrollton branch. I am confident that the investment in our schools, libraries, and our community college will help to advance this county's education system and help to improve education overall. Like education, the proposed budget continues to make investment in our public safety spending. We have made tremendous progress in the last few years, but there is more that we can do and there's more that we will do in public safety. This year's budget, I am proposing a significant investment in public safety in our judicial sector to support the various crime reduction initiatives. I'm proposing an increase of $27 million, which is 5% more than fiscal year 2014. I propose funding the police department for 3 new recruit classes that will add 150 new officers to our police department. We will also allocate in this budget, or allocating the budget, $3 million in additional overtime to support crime reduction initiatives. The budget provides funding for our fire and EMS Department to have 35 new recruits. And will also increase the funding for the volunteers in the form of additional station management funds and a recruitment and retention campaign to encourage volunteer participation. For our Department of Corrections, we're proposing to fund a class of 25 correctional officers. This will be used to offset the attrition at the department and also provide startup funds for the new reentry program. We will additionally fill 14 civilian positions in order to return sworn officers to security duties. Our Sheriff's Department. Our sheriff has been a tremendous partner of this administration and this county. And if we can just give him a round of applause, please. We certainly would not be able to have reduced crime in this county if it had not been for his commitment and hard work. And if I could just say this, going through this difficult budget process for the last 3 years, there's probably been no other individual who has really, had the team effort and has been willing to help us move it along. And so this year, I'm very pleased that we can do some of the stuff that we said that we were going to do at the beginning. And that is to fill all the vacancies, civilian vacancies at the Sheriff's Department. We will add 14 additional deputy sheriffs that are vacant. And this will help with security in our courts and reduce outstanding warrants, where you have done a great job. Can we give them another outstanding job in reducing the warrants? Our other partner in crime fighting is our state's attorney, who has done a tremendous job and has been a great advocate as we go down to Annapolis and try to get additional funding here. And so we're trying to make her office aware, make her aware how appreciative we are. So we have included funding in this budget to enhance salaries in the state's attorney's office, but we've also included funding for two very important programs that she's using to actually drive up the conviction rates in her office. And that is her witness protection program and her expert witness program. Our 6-year CIP budget includes funding for the completion of the District 7 Police Station, the planning and design of the District 5 Police Station, the construction and the operation, the construction of the Emergency Operations Center, Director Moe, and the implementation of the records management system to support all public safety data. Our 6-year CIP also includes the following renovations for our Corrections Department, Director Mary Lou, for the Work Release Program Building, planning and design of the Administrative Wing expansion, and the renovation of 14 housing units. We will also begin the construction of a new Brandywine Fire EMS station, as well as the planning and design for the West Lanham Hills Volunteer Fire Station. Education, public safety. The other one is health. This budget continues to make investment in people by providing access to health care and strengthening our delivery of human services. The budget includes $15 million for Dimension Healthcare System. The 6-year CIP includes $208 million in the new state-of-the-art hospital. This year's budget includes funding for the continue to support the Family Crisis Center and the creation of a domestic violence coordinator's position. We also include funding in the capital budget to replace and expand the county shelter for homeless women and men. We made a commitment early in administration to a clean and sustainable environment. And a clean and sustainable environment has been a priority of this administration for the last 3 years, and it will continue to be so in fiscal year 2015. By focusing our efforts, we have successfully moved from 10th place to 3rd place in the state's recycling program. So if we can give our director, Adam Ortiz, a round of applause for doing it. This shows our significant achievement and shows this administration's commitment to sustaining the environment. The proposed fiscal year 2015 funding for the Local Watershed Protection and Restoration Enterprise Fund, which was established in fiscal year 2014, will be an increase of $7 million or 83% over the current budget. This will help to support the various operating expenses associated with meeting the federal and the state mandates. A high-performance operating government. Over the last 3 years, we have focused on creating a high-performing government, from county stat to the creation of DPI. We have been working to retool our operations so that it is more customer-focused. Investments in fiscal year 2015 will include additional funding to cover the operation associated with the new facilities purchased by the county, the continuation of the 311 call center, a fully operational Office of Ethics and Accountability, and we will also continue our implementation of the Enterprise Resource Planning Project, or ERP. Phase 1, which will include our financial system, is scheduled to go live in the summer of 2014. Through vision, focus, we believe that this budget will yield results. Once again, we have made some tough decisions, but we addressed them by thinking differently, by setting priorities, and by focusing on efficiency and service delivery. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and the light is becoming brighter and brighter. There is more interest now than ever in Prince George's County, and I am confident that with these investments, Prince George's County really will be the place to be. Thank you, and God bless Prince George's County. Barry. Now, if there are difficult questions, we have Terry and Tom.
We'll take any questions we might have from the press at this point in time. Going once. Going twice. We're done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.